Hi, my name's Neil. Welcome to Retro for You. Now this week it's been very hot in the shed, which is why I've missed a few weeks of videos, unfortunately. But we're back on track now, and at the end of the video I got some news about the A500 Plus project. So this week, it's thanks to Captain Commodore, we're going to be building these Sdkicks. These are replacement SID chips. Well, they're kind of a replacement SID chip, but they allow you to have stereo sound, stereo SID, etc. in the Commodore 64. Now, I've repaired my C64, my keyboard's now working. As you can see, it's fully working. It's playing Commodore now, it's playing Ghostbusters down in the background, so you can probably hear that maybe. If you can't, then it is definitely playing and it's working. So let's crack on with building one of these up, and I shall see you after the short intro. Okay, so here is the Sdkick. Hopefully you can't hear the fan in the background. It's because it's really hot today. So this is what we're going to be building up. Now, thankfully, Captain Commodore has done some of the work for me and soldered the headers in place here, which is ready to accept the pico, which is here. You can see there. And also, we're going to solder some extra headers on for this DAC converter here, so we can run dual SID through the stereo output here. So it should be fun, hopefully. So the first thing we're going to do is just solder some headers onto some points here. Now, these ones here, these four down here. So these four here are for the DAC converter, and these two here are from the address lines, which we need to pick up from the board. So we're going to be modifying the socket later. So what we need first is 4 headers into these ports here. Now we're just going to pitch these 2 headers here for the address lines. Again, we'll do the same again. We'll just flick it over. Like so. There you go. Nice and easy, nice and tidy. And again, we'll just give it a spray with some IPA and a quick brush off. So that now is this main part, the Sdkick, ready. So all we need to do now is to install the Pi. So now what we need to do is to fit the Pi Pico. Now it should just sit on this way with the USB at the end. 4 pins for the DMA output. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to flux all this up. And we're going to trim these pins down in a minute. Hopefully I can program this once it's on there. I should think I'll be okay. Well, hopefully anyway. And we're just going to solder along these pins here now. And there you have it. SwinSID is basically built up. Now, what we need to do next is we need to connect this up to the computer using micro USB, and we need to program this thing. Okay, so here we have this. Now, all we need to do is connect it up, like I say. So for that, what we need to do is power in a USB, which you should have around here. So we'll just basically plug it in and then press this button, and it should appear on the desktop. So let's just switch to the desktop now. So I've opened my computer, and now you can see under devices I've got my hard drives here. Yeah, mainly that one's very full. But over the end here we have the RP Raspberry Pi Pico 2 on the H drive, and that has got nothing on it. So all you got to do to upload the firmware is uber simple. Is you just need to open your file which is downloaded, which is here, and I've got revision 0.1, so I open this one. Now here you've got different firmwares. I'm just going to do the SP Pico one with a DAC. There's also ones for MIDI, there's ones for LED, there's ones for RGB, etc. So it's just a matter of case of what you got to do is we'll right click and we will copy this. So we'll copy that file, and then we'll go back to the Pico and we'll just paste that in there. As simple as that. So you can see that's copying over now. And that should be that, I think. Hopefully, anyway. But let's just try and see if that works. So, like I said before, you can see there that only the first 4 pins are needed. So we're just going to flux along those 4 pins. I'm just going to blob some solder onto these. Easy as that. And again, I get some cleaner. Give that a clean off. And we'll snip these excess pins off again, just to tidy it up a bit. And we end up with something like so. Now, I know it looks strange, but it should be cool because that should give us a dual stereo output now, dual SID stereo output from that headphone socket there. So I'm looking forward to this. Now the other 2 here, headers, we're going to put some leads on and we're going to solder to, what's his name? We're going to solder some points on the board. Now these points, I've just noticed something. Their pin doesn't seem to have soldered very well. We'll just correct that. These points will come off the ROM. Now, I have this ROM socket here. So what I intend to do is to solder some headers onto these here, because I think it's pin 2 of that one and pin 3 on that side. So I can solder a header underneath like that sticks out sideways as well, hopefully. So that's my plan to do that. Just makes it easier so it can just plug and play. So let's crack on and see if we can get that sorted. So as I said before, the plan is to modify this socket. We're going to solder some pins directly onto it in pin 3 and pin 4. So the first one I'm going to do is pin 3 because it's easy to get to, which is on this side here. So pin 3 is just a matter of soldering onto pin 3 here. So what we can do is we can put some flux on and get some solder onto this pin. So we'll just add some solder onto this pin, like so. Next we'll grab this pin. And get this on camera so you can see. Next we'll try and hold it straight. Hold it directly onto pin 3, just like so. So you can see that now. That is really solid. What I'm going to do is we're just going to trim that down slightly. And the whole idea is we can plug our header wire on. Just like so. That's it. Easy peasy. It's easy modifying the board. May as well modify this socket that's got Jiffy DOS in it. Now the next one we're going to do is pin 2. Now pin 2 will be actually pin 4 on here because we've got 2 extra pins here. So we've got the 1, 2 and then the 3, 4. So it's going to be the 4th pin along there. So again, we'll do the same we did on the other side. We'll just get a pin. We had one cut there. And we can add some solder to this pin. Just like so. We'll grab the pin. Again, that's gone on nice and solid. Again, we'll cut this down a bit. So we'll just short it about there. And then there we have, for me, a better solution for the address lines for the dual SID. So what we're going to do, we're going to get that installed into the C64 and we're going to see what happens. Will it blow up? Who knows? Let's just see. We'll just give it a clean up before we put it in anyway. So join me at the C64. So testing time. What we're going to do first is load the game through the Kung Fu Master. Use the original sound chip so we've got something to comparison against and we'll see how it sounds. So let's crack on with that and you probably guess what game we're going to start loading. It's the best one for testing sound chips, I presume, because it's got speech and it's got a catchy tune. So bear with me while I set that up. So we're just going to start the game. Probably guessed Ghostbusters, best game ever for testing sound. So we'll let that play for a bit now while I'm here. Now as I press spacebar, it should shout Ghostbusters. I'm hoping that's working. Ghostbusters! 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 So that's about it for this one. You can hear the sound and it sounds absolutely amazing on the SID. So what we're going to do now, we're going to swap the SID chip over for this that we made and we're going to see what difference it does, if anything. So we're just going to swap this here, which is a SID chip, and it is a 6581. And of course we've got the ASD strap on for safety, and we'll just pop that one out like so. So out it comes, and in goes this one. Now it goes with a USB socket facing upwards. You can see underneath here, just on there, you can see it has a cutout there, which means we cut out the chip. So we need to line the pins up, just like so. And then press it in. Now, I did notice it's getting away these caps, so I decided to bend these capacitors out of the way. So what we'll do now, we'll just connect that back up again, and we will give it a try. Now it's got the software on there which should allow it to output the same as the other SID, but it's also got the stereo output later that we can try with dual SID hopefully. So I'm just going to plug this back on. Easier said than done. A bit fiddly this wire is for the LED. But there you go, all done. And we'll just slot this back together. And again, we shall just power this on. So we'll just transition across. So, no sound at all through this. Nothing at all. Nada. And even it didn't record my voice as well, so I don't know what went wrong. So, what I've done is I built another one with the other Sdkick that he gave me. So, hopefully this one will work. Let's just give it a try and see what happens. So, out with the old one. It's pretty tight, that is. And in with the replacement. So that one's slotted in really easy. So what we're going to do now, what we can do is we can leave this off for a bit so you can see, because I've asked it to flash the LED to the music as well, so we're going to see if we get anything from this. Just trying to get it so I can get the C64 somewhere. So hopefully now you can see there we've got the C64 grabbing behind. We're just going to press enter and it looks like again we've got no sound, but it can't be the socket, can it? Because the socket is obviously working with the original chip. So I'm at a loss what's wrong with this thing. This is the second one I've made and I'm not getting anything at all. See, this light isn't even flashing here. Now the VU isn't moving. It's very strange. We've got no sound at all out of anything. Oh, right, I just touched that and it seems to be, whether you guys can see from here, but there's a flashing blue light and it's making a sound, but it doesn't sound right at all. Maybe this wasn't socketed right, so we're just going to try and re-socket it again. Just turn it on and off. We'll just turn it on and off like this actually, because that seems to be working now. So we'll just turn it again and boot it. So, got no sound at all, so no digitized sound. And at the moment we've got nothing. It's the VU rads have just stayed still. Push down on it, it's doing nothing, 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 nothing. I think these are 3-channel sounds, so maybe 2 of the channels are down and only 1 channel's working, and that's why it was kicking in later date. I'm not quite sure. Oh, there it goes again, you see. So, if anybody knows what's wrong with this, I'm going to end this video now because I've been playing around with these constantly for nearly a week now and I can't get these things to work. Now Captain Commodore, who sent me these things, says it's worked every time. So I'm not sure whether it's this Commodore 64 or whether it just doesn't like the things. I haven't got another Commodore 64 unfortunately to try. My friend does have one, but he's away on holiday, so I can always ask him to fetch his down and we can give it a try and see if it works. But it's very, very strange what's going on here. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to end the video here. Like I said, if you know what's going on, drop me a comment down below and I'll see you in the outro because I've got a bit of news about the Amiga 500++ project. So, see you soon, guys. So, you made it to the end. Thanks a lot. Now, unfortunately, it didn't work. Now, this is how it sometimes goes in retro repairs. Well, it sometimes always goes this way. Things do not work as they're supposed to. Now, I think it's something to do with my Commodore 64, but until I get another one and actually try one of these or send one of these to one of my other friends to test, I won't actually know. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get to the bottom of this issue soon, because I don't think it's a build issue. I think everything went to plan, everything looked good, everything soldiered up well, and that was it. So if you do know, like I said before, drop me a comment down below. As far as the A500++ build is going, I've actually managed to order and source some of the parts now. Well, most of the parts. And with the scrap board as well, I should be able to finish that in a video in the next month, I should think. I've just got to wait for the parts to come, and then obviously I've got to solder it all up, film it, edit it, etc. So that will be coming in the next month. I've also been asked to do a video on some Amiga stuff, which I will be doing next week as well, so that'll be coming. And also I want to finish that Commodore 64 disk drive. Now I've got this 64 working, because it'd be nice to get that running and actually load a game off a disk, because it's something I never experienced, because as you know, in the UK the disk drives are very, very expensive. So look forward to that as well. That could be next week as well, or the week after. If you're new here, then please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button, and please comment down below, even if it's hello. So that's it for now. I shall see you next time on Retro for You. See you soon, guys. Bye.